The Fox Watch continues with 2003's Daredevil.
I missed. I never miss.
What is going on, everybody? It is yours truly, the Ace, here with my review to 2003's Daredevil. And before I get started, join me down below in the comment section and let me know what you thought about this movie. 4 down, 14 to go as the Fox Watch continues. Let's get into it. Full disclosure, as a kid, I did watch this movie a lot. Early 2000s live action superhero movies were on the rise. As an adult, rewatching this for the first time in years for this Fox Watch, this movie stinks. It's really bad. It's notoriously known for being a bad movie. It does not translate well to this new era that we're living in. And as an adult, I just find it absolutely terrible. Not a lot of good throughout this movie, but I will say one of the standouts is Michael Clarke Duncan, rest in peace to him, does put on a great performance. All things considered, that the dialogue is not good, not well written, but he does bring a certain charisma to the character that we have not seen before. I do love Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin, but Michael Clarke Duncan's is more of a lighthearted, he's laughing a lot, but you can still feel he's menacing. He has the temperament for this role, and I do think he does a phenomenal job. Definitely one of the bright spots in this movie, along with Jon Favreau. Doesn't have a huge part. I do like him in this role. Very good chemistry with Ben Affleck. This is just a personal like of mine. Really good director, one of my favorites. I just like seeing him in movies. So whenever he's in a movie, it feels like it's an added bonus, like this, Elf, anything in the MCU. I do feel like it's not a huge deal, but it's one of those little things that I just enjoy anytime he is on screen. One thing that works in this movie's favor, though, is a great soundtrack that matches the tone. I'm a big fan of Evanescence. This movie was probably my introduction to them. That funeral sequence where Elektra's dad dies and they're playing My Immortal in the background, and then the suit up montage getting ready for the third act, Bring Me to Life. That was the first time I had actually heard that song, and I've been a big fan of them ever since because of this. Visually, this movie's okay. I do think it gets a little creative with using Daredevil's radar sense, so we get to see things from his point of view, whether he's fighting or on this rooftop sequence in the rain with Elektra. That scene is iconic for this movie, but it just doesn't look good. It looks like horrible CGI. Very creative, but just not executed well. Ben Affleck is Daredevil.
Hey, how you doing?
I don't know if it was because he was bad in this, the writing was bad, the dialogue was bad, or maybe it was just a combination of everything. But he was just terrible in this role. I get it. Early 2000s, coming off of Pearl Harbor, Armageddon, huge star. You would think it would work, but it was a colossal failure, especially in the early 2000s where they were making a lot of good casting choices throughout the Marvel Universe. This wasn't one of them. And it definitely turned a lot of people off to him being in future superhero movies. Obviously, he became Batman, which I thought he was a solid Batman. He got a good redemption with that, but he just did not work as Daredevil. Great chemistry with Gardner, who, obviously they got divorced. They were married, they got divorced, but they had good on-screen chemistry. But overall, he just did not work as Daredevil. Since we're on the topic of bad, might as well talk about Colin Farrell. It's so bad in this.
Bullseye. Huh?
Look at how he looks. It's just so ridiculous and over the top. Now, sometimes that could work. It works in the role of Penguin and the Batman. But here, he just looks so ridiculously stupid. And his character was just so corny. And it was just, it's laughable how bad he is, Affleck is, throughout this entire movie. Plot-wise, it had one. A beginning, a middle, and an end. Doesn't tell a particularly good story. Kind of boring in my opinion. Slow setup. as it rushes to the finish with 3 fight scenes: Daredevil, Elektra, and versus Bullseye, Bullseye versus Daredevil, and then ultimately Daredevil versus Kingpin. Really quick fight sequences with a lot of close-ups that kind of don't immerse you within the action. They try, but in my opinion, they failed. Before I get out of here, a special PSA from yours truly, the Ace. Exclusive The Ace Avenue Deadpool and Wolverine inspired merchandise is available right now at spreadshop.com/The Ace Avenue. Get your hands on this merch from the biggest movie of the year. And for all those that buy merchandise, send me a picture at The Ace Avenue and I'll post it right here on the channel. But overall, this is just a bad movie that doesn't translate well. Bad acting, bad dialogue, bad writing. Colin Farrell looks ridiculous. Ben Affleck is terrible as Daredevil, which is unfortunate because it's such a great character. Score-wise, I'm going to give this a 3 out of 10. One of the worst Fox movies. Like I said, such a great character in Daredevil. They just tell a very boring story with him. Glad that we're getting Charlie Cox as Daredevil in the MCU, and he was great in the Netflix. Definitely proved how good this character could be with good writing, good visuals, great effects, all that stuff put in there. But this one failed in everything. But appreciate you guys for watching. For your sports, movies, and more, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe. As always, thank you for tuning into the Ace Avenue. I am yours truly, the Ace. Adios.